Welcome back to the Wins and Losses podcast. We got a special edition today. Here, Evan Winkler and Joey Lockepo. It is Sunday. We don't come on a Sunday.
Glorious Sunday.
But
Boy, do we have some.
There's
We have a
just
show for you today.
too much happened yesterday, and a lot happened today at noon that we need to talk about. We couldn't wait till Monday, Tuesday to talk to you about it. So we're going to quickly talk about yesterday's games before we get into this. Some of those games had some ramifications and how that kind of looks in this big playoff. But the big game yesterday, Ohio State and Indiana. Talk about Coach Cinetti. I think the best coach in college football, doing the most with the least. He has 4 players that have a 4-star or above on his team, and Ohio State had 67. What do you think there, sir?
I'd say nothing.
Indiana man.
I am not ecstatic about Indiana winning. However, I am very happy Ohio State lost. We will not have an undefeated champion unless it is Indiana. I do not want an undefeated champion. We will talk about Indiana's road here in a little bit. I am happy for the Hoosiers, their first championships, Big Ten championships since 1945.
That's
so
crazy.
I guess once in 60 years we'll give it to the Hoosiers. Yeah. Not a super huge fan of Cignetti. I'm not going to deny the fact he's a good coach and he's done a lot with a little. So congrats to all the Hoosier fans out there. I know they've been dying for this. And
Totally.
I'm super hyped that they got the championship instead of Ohio State because they're insufferable. So,
what sticks out to you about that game, though, yesterday?
Defense. It was so eerily similar. I watched that game from kick to end. It was so eerily similar to the 2024 Michigan-Ohio State game. Yeah. That game was all about ball control and defense. IU controlled time of possession. They just picked up first downs that would grind out like 8-minute drives, even if they picked up a field goal or not. It's just they control the narrative. They let Jeremiah Smith have his yards, but yet they didn't give up the super huge play. But, what's frustrating to me is I looked at IU in that game, and we have such better athletes than IU, in my opinion. And the way they got to Julian saying, the pressure on the quarterback.
That's the difference, right?
It's all the day. He didn't have the
time. We talked about that in the Michigan game.
He didn't have the time to throw.
5 sacks yesterday, 5 sacks.
And even that's numerous pressures, too.
Yes.
The thing is, he didn't have the time to throw. And I think if Michigan could have got to him and didn't have, we would have had a far different result. Yeah. If not, it would have been a little closer. But anyway, congrats to the Hoosiers. Again, they played well. I don't know if Mendoza cemented his Heisman. I don't
think
some
big throws here.
But he was clutch. I
throws.
mean, I just look at the options for Heisman. I think it's between him and Diego Pavia at this point. But Diego didn't play. Mendoza played well, and Big Ten champs. So congrats to the Hoosiers, all their fans. Bask in it. You have about 364 days till the Wolverines come get it back. But
especially when you're hyping up, they just hype up that Ohio State offense, and they scored 10 points. Yeah, it's just crazy to me. And they didn't score at all in the second half. They're up. They made that Indiana made that big third down touchdown pass there in the end zone, that back shoulder throw, which was amazing. He made that clutch third down call, after Ohio State missed the field goal. My question is, why isn't Ryan Day? You're 4th and 1 at
why don't
whatever
you kick
yard
the
line.
Tying field goal? That was a big
you got to go for it. He kicked the field goal and they missed. Ohio State.
No, the time prior though.
Oh, he did. He went for it.
He went the time prior, and Sayan's knee was down before they made the line to gain. Why don't you hand it to Bo Jackson? He was going for the lead because it was 10-10, and they were at the 6. There was maybe 13 minutes to go, and they were there, and he went for it, and they didn't get it. Yeah. IU went down, kicked the field goal, took the lead. Then they went for it again, or didn't go for it, kicked the field goal, missed it. It all worked out. But Ryan Day made some questionable calls. I think he gets tight in those moments. It was eerily similar to Michigan. That's what happened with the Michigan 2024 game. Yeah. It was tight. They took them to deep water, and they drowned them out. And I look at it, and Ohio State has played that way all year. Michigan gave you the blueprint how to beat Ohio State. Indiana showed you that Ohio State could be beaten because they beat them. The blueprint to beat Ohio State. They haven't blown a team out all year. They hang around until halftime. They make adjustments at halftime, and then they slowly just pull away and they beat you by like 20 points.
Yep.
They don't ever like beat you by 50. They don't
Yeah.
blow you out in the first quarter. It's a time. If you cannot give them the ball to get up by that 14 points and keep it within 7, they're beatable. They're really beatable, and that's why I don't think they're winning the title this year. But yeah, no, that game was huge for the Hoosiers, huge just for the whole.
They're the number 1 seed now, Indiana. Who would have ever thought? If I would have told you 5 years ago, made you bet me that IU was going to win a Big Ten title in 2025.
What's really great for the number 1 seed, especially being a Big Ten team, Indiana gets to go to the Rose Bowl. You know, they haven't been to the Rose Bowl in 50 years, you know, so it's like, congrats to the Hoosiers. Enjoy Pasadena.
The most iconic place ever.
I mean, it's just like that Rose Bowl is going to be awesome.
Yes.
You know, so they're going to be out there, either play the winner of Oklahoma, Alabama. You know, it's going to be a great game for the Hoosiers. Enjoy it. Who knows how long it's going to last? I know, though, your bracket doesn't look like it's the easier side by any means. Texas Tech is playing some good football, and you got Oregon up there, too, lurking. So just be careful. Be careful what you wish for.
Well, in that game, Texas Tech pretty much dominated with defense.
Yeah,
I mean, Texas
they're
Tech.
a good ball club.
They are.
Boy, they are very under the radar. They are a well-coached, well-oiled machine. I tell you, Texas Tech's played well. And who else is Georgia's flex?
Georgia looked good. There's a lot of questions kind of coming to the game, but they really flexed on Alabama. Alabama hasn't looked great at the end of the year.
Well, Georgia hasn't either. And, because when they played Georgia Tech, it was kind of tight there for a minute. You know, what Georgia team are you getting? But, boy, if that Georgia team shows up for the next 4 games, that team's winning the national title.
Correct. Yeah, you don't want to play them.
They're good and they're loaded. They're stacked. So be very wary if you're the Buckeyes, because they're down there and they might have to play Georgia or A&M or Miami or whoever gets them. But I know we're talking a lot about it and what could happen, but let's just address the elephant in the room. The college football playoff was announced today. And boy, somebody over here smiling from ear to ear. We got a lot of angry people, including the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame.
Yes, I feel like the committee played with their emotions all season long.
Oh, man.
And then they just kind of ripped their heart out at the last minute today.
I will say the committee that won't even listen to this show, but I'm just going to say it anyway.
I think they probably do, Joey. I'm sure they're subscribers.
They nailed it. The committee got it 100% correct. That should have been the bracket the whole time. The only thing the committee did wrong, and everybody's all over this committee right now, don't release rankings from week to week.
I agree.
Keep them in-house. If you want to have Notre Dame ahead of Miami, blah, 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 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, whatever, today's final. Yeah. They don't do that for the basketball tournament. You know, they have the big selection show, and they post it on TV, and that's that. But they don't tell you Notre Dame's 3 spots ahead of Miami, because now you have all these people. How can Miami jump Notre Dame, blah, blah, blah. Miami should have never been behind Notre Dame. Miami beat Notre Dame. Let's remember. Oh, that was week 1. Was that in the 2025 season?
Yeah.
That's this season.
Yes.
That's what we're playing for, right?
Head-to-head has to matter. If it was the other way around, it'd be the same thing.
It's this season.
It's got to count.
We're playing for this season's national championship, correct? Whether it was game 1 or game 13, that happened this year. It has to count. Yeah. Tiebreaker, Miami had 1 top 25 win. Notre Dame had 1 top 25. Who was that win against? USC. Who was Miami's against?
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So
just like if you've had two Big Ten teams tied to go to the Big Ten championship, you're going to go
head to head. Who won
first?
Yeah, who won? Yeah.
Just like in the NFL in division, you always go head to head.
Yeah.
I mean that's always the first tiebreaker, and that's what it should be.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate because maybe Notre Dame is playing better than them. A lot of people are saying they would be favored over Oklahoma, Alabama, and Miami. That could be totally true.
It's hard. It's hard because Vegas comes out with all these numbers, and you look, Notre Dame beat Syracuse by 63 points. Yeah. Notre Dame beat Stanford by 20 points. Notre Dame beat Navy by 30 points. I'm just saying strength of schedule matters as well. Eyeball test, you can look and say Notre Dame is the only team that could hang with Indiana and Ohio State. What are you basing that measure on? By the way they blew out Navy? by the way they blew out Syracuse. The competition matters.
Yeah.
I'm going to say something, and I hope you don't think I'm taking a shot at any particular school or not. But, it's like you look at a school such as like a Western Michigan or whatever, and it's congrats to them on winning the MAC title. But should a Western Michigan get in? Because they won the MAC. It's like competition matters. Who you play. Because they beat Miami or because they beat Toledo doesn't mean they could go out and beat Oklahoma and Alabama. But the fact of the matter is, Miami beat Notre Dame head-to-head. It's irrelevant.
Well, it's like Indiana and Ohio State on paper. They got 67, 4 to 5 stars, and Indiana has 4.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're just going to play it based on that, why play the game?
Or names on the helmet. You look at just, I heard a
It's got to matter.
But if it wasn't for this year, do you realize Indiana is the losingest program in college football history?
Yes.
Like of all time?
Yeah.
This year brought them into second to last place.
They passed Northwestern this year.
And of all time, that's how historically bad Indiana is. I read a quote from Colin Cowherd and said, I'm still in I can't wrap my head around watching Indiana win the Big Ten title. He said, only because I've owned a TV from 1972 to 2023.
Correct.
And he's 100% right.
Yes.
Indiana was never winning games. They were a whipping board. Everybody. They hadn't beat Ohio State in 80 games. They played Ohio State 80 times, and Ohio State beat them all 80 times before last night.
Wow, that's a crazy stat right
and
there.
It's just like, it is just insane. So Indiana can do it. It's like, and it can be done. So all those teams like a James Madison or Tulane or even like a Western Michigan or a Boise State, it can be done. But, it's
better for a Power 4.
Right.
But my problem is I just feel like Tulane and JMU shouldn't be in there. If you're trying to find the best 12 teams, then Notre Dame and BYU, or it's Notre Dame and Texas. There should be. They would get in if you got the top 12. So it's unfortunate for them. I think they did the right thing. I think they did what they've done in previous years with head-to-head. And also, conference championship games. Does it suck that Alabama got destroyed? And you might think, man, maybe they don't deserve it. But, man, it's hard when no one else plays and you play.
Game can only help you. It should never hurt you.
Especially when it comes to that.
It's an extra game.
Right.
Don't
do the conference championship. The conference championship would have went away forever if Alabama didn't
if you would have left Alabama out, I think I would be probably more irate than anybody. And, honestly, I could care less about Alabama. I'm not an Alabama fan. But, it's like, how can that game hurt you when you're playing an extra game? You could have literally went out there and kneeled every play and said, I don't care because we're going to get left out of the playoff. That's ridiculous. So, thankfully, they didn't leave Bama out. And thankfully, they did the right thing and honored the head-to-head and put Miami in. So, Notre Dame fans, I know you're hot. I know and I know you have a million reasons why you think you should be in, and the eyeball test, and we would beat anybody. And Vegas says
they could win it all.
And
so could Texas.
But
so could BYU.
Anybody could win it all. Anybody could. Honestly, Michigan could win it all. Yeah. But you never know. You never know until given the opportunity. They're not going to have the opportunity just like Michigan's not going to have the opportunity. What's even sadder to me is Notre Dame declined any kind of bowl bid, which is really just them being babies at this point because you're hurting those kids. Jadarian Price, Jeremiah Love, C.J. Carr will never play together again. They would have had 13 more practices, gotten another bowl game, gotten a little trip down to Florida or wherever the bowl game would have, Bahamas, wherever you would have played, would have gotten to enjoy their time. Played a game, enjoyed it. You would have gotten better. You would have gotten some reps. Could have gotten some of those early enrollees into play. Instead, Notre Dame said, nah, we're going to take our ball and go home. We're going to throw a temper tantrum because we didn't get in the playoff. Yeah. Good, take it. Good. Maybe we'll get better than you, and next year you'll regret that,
Yeah.
So
I feel like that's almost a knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah, 100%.
I understand that they're upset and mad, and especially when they've been ranked high all year, and all of a sudden that happens. But
and it's not
I think you just got to go.
No, Notre Dame's like, they need Notre Dame, they need our name. No, they don't. College football, nobody's bigger than college football.
No.
Nobody. College football is the sport. If it wasn't for college football, there'd be no Notre Dame. So not vice versa.
Isn't it crazy though how NIL? And, if you get the right coach, how it's totally changed football.
Oh, it has.
Look at these teams. Texas Tech.
Yep.
Indiana. Ole Miss.
Money.
Right?
Money.
I mean, Texas A&M, really. I mean, those teams you would never expect to be teams that are battling for the
money.
national
I tell you,
championship.
no, it's all come down to money, which is really kind of sad. Which really scares me about Michigan State because Michigan State's got a lot of money coming in their program too.
I feel like it's giving a little more parity to college football in a way.
100% does with the money and the recruits, just the transfer portal, the lack of loyalty. The kids are walking to the biggest dollar, and they're 18-year-old kids, as they should.
Yeah,
As you get older, you kind of respect the loyalty, and you respect I want to go to this school for my education and what it can do for my life and my future. So it's like I respect that being a 50-year-old man, but a 18-year-old kid's looking like, if you're going to give me $2 million and you're going to give me $10 million, I'm going where the $10 million's at. So,
do you see any way to solve some of the problems we have with this 12-team playoff, like going forward? Do you think
well,
we got to go to 16? We got to have some different requirements of, hey, you're locked in.
I definitely think they're going to expand, but you're going to have the same issues at
you
16.
always will.
Because you're going to have the people at 17 or 18 saying, I should get it. I do think the point you made was pretty good about the JMU and the Tulane. The inclusivity rule is good until it comes down to this. Because let's just face it, if you don't live in New Orleans and are a Tulane alumni or a James Madison alumni, there's no way in hell you're thinking you're winning this playoff.
No.
And you're not going to
Ole Miss won by like 5 touchdowns early in the year, and they're in the playoffs.
So it's like, so realistically, come on, get real. You're not. So you're just taking up a spot. You're taking up Notre Dame's spot, or you're taking up Texas's spot, or Vanderbilt's spot. But they feel like they have to get the conference group of 5 champion in. The thing is let's just cut all this BS, get down to the brass tacks of things. Realistically, we're going to a 2-conference league. This is a mini NFL at this point. It is going to be a Big Ten, SEC, whatever you want to name them, which is going to be AFC, NFC. And then you're going to come down to divisions. You know how they have NFC North and NFC South? You're going to divide them up and because that's what it's getting to. It's coming to conferences. Notre Dame's going to hop in. Then they won't have any beef whatsoever because they'll be, if they win their conference or if they come.
They're in the ACC this year, they're in.
100%. Yeah. They would have won the
Or
ACC.
if they put Miami in the ACC championship and they win, then Notre Dame's probably in. Their tiebreaker was crazy there. But I think it's Power 4. You have your own playoff, and you have a champ.
Yeah, group of 5.
All the other teams, like Western Division, Tulane, JMU, all those conferences.
Yeah, I think Boise State and Tulane, James Madison, Kennesaw State, Western Michigan.
You have your own, so then you have a champ in there.
You can have your own little Division II championship. But let's just face it, your kids playing for your teams aren't even near the type of athlete.
Correct. It's just a different thing.
It's a different athlete.
Yeah.
It's a different
You can just tell by looking on TV the difference between people.
I mean, when these kids get these rankings, these stars, these 5 stars, like it's different when Boise State has a 2-star and Ohio State's running out 5 stars. The size in kids, the speed in these kids, the strength in these kids, the skill in these kids it's different. It's like apples and oranges. It's like putting Michigan against the Green Bay Packers. I mean, I would love to see Michigan to hang with them, but there's no way. Those are professional
athletes. Even the Tennessee
athletes.
Titans who've won 1 game.
Yeah, I mean, they're professional athletes. I mean, these kids at the Division I level, at the big-name programs, the Bamas, the Oklahomas, the Ohio States, the Michigans, the Notre Dames, these are top-notch kids. These kids at Western Michigan, or these kids at Kennesaw State, or these kids at Boise State, these are mid-tier athletes at best. And then if they are a top-notch athlete, they're going to end up transferring to a big school anyway.
Two after they've,
So it's like, just let them have their own championship. Give those spots to the big boys and let it be played on the field.
What? So when you look at the first round matchups, anything that eventually we'll pick all these games before probably next week before the season. But we just want to talk about some intriguing games here that we could see, or maybe some teams that might have easiest path. So when you look at the first round, is there any intriguing games that you're excited about?
Obviously, I mean the one that sticks out to you is the opener, the one that's on that Friday night, the Alabama-Oklahoma. I mean, it's got your big name teams. They've actually played once this season, and Oklahoma beat them.
Rematch.
In Tuscaloosa. But I do think that's going to be a different game. Alabama's been sputtering. They've been leaking oil lately. Their running game is pretty putrid, to be honest with you. And Oklahoma doesn't have much of an offense either, so I don't even know how high scoring that'd be. I look at that Miami A&M game could be a sneaky.
I like that
game.
one. I kind of like that because it'll be interesting to see how A&M hasn't had the the best schedule really when you looked at it and you really drill down into all the teams that they played. So how good are they really? Miami had an early start. I mean, they had that middle spot. They didn't play, but they finished really strong. But they also play in the ACC.
Yep.
ACC hasn't been the strongest, so that'll be interesting. I kind of like Miami. I feel like their quarterback has done a really good job.
I think they're going to go out there with a little chip on their shoulder.
So it'll be interesting to see.
How'd you like that if that came true? What about that second round matchup, Ohio State and Miami?
Rematch from the one national title.
Are there going to be a lot of cops on board for that one? It's like Thug U versus Thug U, man.
Totally. Be all kinds of fights in the parking lot. Who do you think has easiest path? Or who's one of the most dangerous, sneaky teams? I think you kind of mentioned the team earlier. But
I tell you who's looking good, and if they play to their potential, look out for them dogs. Georgia. I think Georgia, they looked good yesterday. And you know who's really good and gets no recognition? I don't know if this is the team you're referring to. Is Texas Tech.
Yeah, that's one team I was talking about.
Texas Tech, they are just strong all over.
I think both of those teams. You think of Oregon and Texas Tech. I think Oregon's a lot better than people are saying too.
100%.
Like they could make a run too.
Yeah,
really, if you think about it.
I think if that came down to an Oregon IU rematch, if that got to the semifinals and came down to Oregon, I'm putting money on Oregon.
Yeah, it could be a possible thing that like happened with Ohio State and Oregon last year, that rematch where it was like sometimes it's hard to beat teams twice. Look at Alabama and Georgia. Alabama beat them the first time; they couldn't get them the second time, so that'll be interesting. Can Ohio State bounce back? I mean, last year those teams that had the bye had a really long stretch right before they played, so it was really hard for them. And a lot of those teams lost, right? So it'll be interesting to see how these top 4 seeds respond and if they can get that win when they play some of those teams who have played the week before.
It's going to be interesting also. The game that's probably getting talked about the least or the second least is Tulane-Ole Miss. Ole Miss underwent the huge soap opera with Lane Kiffin.
A lot of emotions have happened to them.
Tulane's playing just solid football, earned their American championship on Friday. You know, they're going to Ole Miss for a on-campus home playoff game for Ole Miss. But Ole Miss is under new leadership. You don't know how they're going to respond. I don't know. I mean, that could be a sneaky upset in the first round. But, I think the winner of that's got to play Georgia, so I don't know what's going to happen there. But so these playoffs should be good. I know there's a lot of people in South Bend, Indiana that are not very pleased right now. I just hope that you understand. You're never going to truly see it with clarity. Head-to-head matters.
Has to.
Head-to-head has to matter. You're not going to truly understand it. I know you're going to say if you look at right now, you want the 12 best teams right now. Miami's playing good ball right now.
They are. I agree.
So it's like, and I know you are too, but Miami beat Pittsburgh and Georgia Tech. You beat Syracuse and Stanford. That probably has a little more to prove if you beat Pittsburgh. And I know you beat Pittsburgh too, but
very similar results though.
You had a couple of common opponents, Boston College, Pittsburgh, but you know what the most common opponent is? Each other. Yeah. Who won that game?
Yeah.
That's it.
I think wins have to matter.
Yeah.
I know that people keep talking about who you lost to, but sometimes if it's head to head, it's going to be who you beat.
Right.
So
right.
That's huge. But so any other thoughts or anything on that college football playoff?
No, I think it ought to be great. I can't wait for it to start. I know some of the other bowl games have come out. You've had different schools, except I know Texas got lined up with the Wolverines. I'm excited about
that place will be packed.
Yeah,
because both teams will travel.
You talk about name brands, man. I tell you what, we can't escape Texas. We played them 2 years ago at the last year?
No, last year we played
last
Alabama.
year we played Oklahoma past year.
Oh, like during the season?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
we played Texas at the
played
Big
Texas
House. Yeah. And then this year we played Oklahoma, but we get Texas in the bowl, and then we play Oklahoma in the season. But next year we got Texas after that. So it's like, it's going to be Wolverines Longhorns for a while here. But no, I'm excited for that. I hope Arch plays. I think Arch and Bryce Underwood would be a good little matchup. The thing that concerns me about the bowl games, and a lot of these bowl games matchups are coming out, and some of the matchups are actually pretty good I was looking at. But
who's going to play? Who's not going to play?
I hope all the kids play. I just want you get the extra 13 practices. You get the time with your boys. You get the time to develop. And I looked at Michigan last year. They used it as kind of a springboard into the season. They beat Alabama.
They had a lot of guys sit out last year.
They had a lot of guys sit out, but those were the guys going to the pros. Correct. I don't think they have those guys.
I feel like our whole offense is probably going to play. I don't know. Is McCulley a senior? I mean, he might be the only one, but that could help his draft
Him
stock.
and Bredesen will sit up.
But then you got the defense. We have some seniors on that defensive line. Will Moore or Stewart, will they play?
Yeah,
I don't know.
but
I think for the most part, we got a lot of young guys. I think we're going to have majority of our team's going to play.
And I'd like to see how they stack up again. Texas has some big bodies. They got some big boys. They got a lot of 5-stars on that team, and I hope Arch plays too, because I think that'd be a great.
I hope Michigan comes out slinging.
Yeah, no, I mean,
let's stop throwing the training wheels off on this bowl game.
Nothing to lose, We'll see if Justice Haynes comes back to play. We'll see. I mean, it's going to be interesting springboard into next year. I'm excited to see it happen. I'm glad it's Texas. It's a very name brand game. It's on New Year's Eve at 4:00, so it's like prime time. That's good for the boys. So happy for
watching that one.
Happy for the Maize and Blue. Happy for all the teams that made it in the 12-team bracket in college football. CFP committee, I do think you got it right. I'm probably your only fan today. Everybody's got a beef. I think you nailed it. I think a
lot of people on ESPN thought the same when they were doing the show too. Actually,
I mean, you got a lot of people lobbying for Notre Dame, and for good reason. I get it, but just take a step back and look at it, and it just makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, there's no winners here. I mean, it's lose for a lot of people. It's hard.
I think them. Turning down a bowl game is a black eye for them. I think it looks stupid. You guys look like babies by doing that. Don't do that. Just go play your games. I mean, do it for the kids. I mean, you got a lot of kids returning back. It's just extra practices, extra games. Get CJ Carr some extra reps,
Do it and show everyone that they made a mistake.
Yeah, it's like, go blow some team out, and like, hey, should have put us in the playoff or whatever. End your season right. Now your season's over. Yeah. How deflating is that, knowing your last game was at Stanford and we're done, I mean, that's just wrong in my opinion, but I know we came to you on a Sunday evening, which is actually rare for us, so we didn't really get a lot of NFL in. There was some big NFL early games that have happened.
The Steelers beat the Ravens, which is the big one.
Yeah.
Bucs lost to the Saints, which is huge.
The Jags beat the Colts, and I know Daniel Jones went out for the Colts, which is huge.
That's unfortunate for
right now, actually. We're watching it right now. Is the Bears-Packers. That's a huge game. It's 0-0 currently.
Defensive battle at the time.
But so we really didn't get a chance to do the buffs or anything.
Buffalo Bills won, so that's a big one.
Buffalo beat the Bengals.
Bengals were they were leading that game. They had a I think an
that
interception return.
Yeah, that was a snowball.
So
game.
the Bills keep alive, and we got the big game. We got Joey's Chiefs tonight versus the Texans.
Go Houston.
So I had the Chiefs. I had the Texans. What's our update on the bus right now, though?
Well, you definitely. I had a terrible day yesterday. I went 1-4. My only win was Texas Tech. I lost all the rest of the championship games. You went 3-2. Earlier, if we are doing the early games, I hit on the Bills. You hit on.
I haven't hit on any of them.
Nothing yet. So I'm one up on you today. Yeah. But we also have opposites the rest of the day. So I could actually get my buff.
Totally. You could. This is crazy. We got all opposites.
So we'll have the buff update. We're gonna come to you Thursday or Friday.
Yeah, so one of those days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just look for us.
Yeah. Subscribe. It'll pop up if you subscribe. Remember, we're on Spotify and YouTube. So. Thanks for joining us. Yep. Sorry if we offended some people. We're a couple opinionated people, especially me. I might be a little biased, but you have to kind of see it the way it is. So it is what it is. Should be a great playoff. Looking forward to breaking down the games later. We got a couple weeks to break them down. So on that note, we're going to sign off, and we're going to give you a Go Blue.